All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Friday Flow with Ellen. We are going to start in a child's pose position this morning. So feel free to grab, any props that you may have, whether they're yoga blocks or a roll-up towel or a t-shirt. And you're going to find a nice, gentle child's pose position at the back of your mat. Knees wide, feet together. You can even use one of your props to sit on if your knees are a little sensitive or that you find when you're down in child's pose, you can't get your hips all the way down. Go ahead and sit on that block or a blanket, and that will help. Same thing for your forehead, if that's not quite touching the floor in your child's pose, and you can use your block or roll up a towel and bring the floor to meet you where you're at. I'm just going to start here, take a couple of deep breaths in our child's pose, just sort of checking in with our bodies and noticing how we're feeling this morning without any judgment. Maybe you're feeling a little tightness in those hips, maybe in your arms or shoulders. Feel free to shift your weight around a little bit in your child's pose if you'd like. Moving from side to side. On your next inhale, reach those fingertips up to the top of your mat, just a little bit further. And as you exhale, feel those hips press down and away towards the back of your mat. Next inhale, we're going to slowly press up onto our hands and knees, only for a moment here, because then I want you to lower down all the way onto your chest and belly. You're going to come all the way down. And we're going to start with a gentle baby cobra. So you're going to bring those legs about hip distance, and your hands, your fingertips are right under those shoulders, elbows in, nice and gentle inhale. You're looking straight down at that mat. Inhale is where you lift the chest off the mat very gently. Keep your shoulders down. Keep that gaze down, slightly forward. And then exhale, you're going to lower it back. So we're just going to do this a couple times very gently, just starting to warm up our back. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, lower. So it doesn't matter how high you lift. Listen to your body, your own limitations here. Inhale up and exhale. So this should not feel painful. Maybe a little bit of work, but should not feel painful. So if it does, just take it a little bit slower, or maybe just hang out for a couple moments. We're going to do 2 more baby cobras. Inhale, gently lift, shoulders down, elbows in, and exhale. We're going to do this one more time. Inhale, lift, and exhale. Perfect. Okay, this time you're going to tuck your toes and actually press yourself back up to your child's pose. So just very slowly press up, brace your core, and you're going to come right back to that child's pose. Press your hips back, relax your head. Take a couple breaths here. We're just sort of gently working into our low back. Take one more breath. And then slowly come back up, inhale, and then exhale, you're gonna drop those hips again. So you're gonna come all the way down. We're gonna do 2 baby cobras this time. Inhale, lift up. Baby cobra, exhale, lower. Let's do it one more time, nice and easy. Inhale, lift, and exhale. So one more time, going back to our child's pose. You're gonna retuck your toes, press yourself up, not too fast, and then exhale, you sit right back into that child's pose. Maybe getting a little bit deeper into your stretch this third time. Relax your head completely between those arms. Feel a big stretch in that low back. One more breath here. Inhale, take it back up to your tabletop, and exhale, we're gonna drop those hips. Coming all the way down. So we're gonna do something a little bit different. If you want something a little more challenging, you can lift up onto your elbows here, or onto your forearms, called the Sphinx pose. If this does not feel good at all, then you're gonna do your baby cobras, and you're gonna do 2 of those. If you can hang out here in your Sphinx, try to take 4 deep breaths. Your elbows are right under your shoulders, your chest is lifted, you're pulling those shoulders down and back. Once you have finished the baby cobras, you can gently press yourself up and back to child's pose. We'll take 1 more breath in Sphinx, lifting the chest. And then very slowly, you can pull those elbows out to the side and lower that chest, nice and slow. Everyone's going to now tuck your toes. If you're still on the floor, inhale, lift up, and exhale. Let's find downward facing dog this time. So your hips go straight up to the sky here, and we just pedal out our heels, getting a stretch for the back of those legs. And at any point, you are more than welcome to just simply lower the knees down and come into child's pose or a supported down dog. So now we're gonna build a little bit of heat throughout the body. Inhale, you're gonna come to your plank where your shoulders are right on top of your wrist. Tuck those hips under. Exhale, come back to down dog. Let's do that again. Inhale, come forward to your plank. And you could do both of these supported with knees on the floor. Exhale, come back to down dog. I'm just gonna show that option a couple times. Inhale, come forward to your plank. Shoulders right on top of those hips. You should feel your abdominals, your core warming up, and then exhale, down dog. So now just do 2 more at your own pace. Whether you're on your toes or on your knees. Last one, you're gonna end in that down dog. Once you've done 1 more here, think of stitching your rib cage together. Really press down through those heels. Hold this for 1 more breath. And then let's lower those knees. Inhale, keep your knees together, and exhale, sit back into child's pose. This time just with those knees together. You should feel a little bit more of a stretch in your low back as opposed to your hips. So holding this here, 1 more breath. And then let's come up to a tabletop position. So we're gonna hit a cat-cow first. So let's stretch out that low back a little bit more. As you inhale, you're gonna drop the belly, lift the chest. And then exhale, you're gonna round the spine, tuck the chin into your chest. And then let's do that again. Inhale. And exhale. Nice cat-cow here. Continue to move through these. On that inhale, think of sort of sinking into the mat. And as you exhale, you're almost lifting away from the mat. So 2 more cat-cows. Feel free to really exaggerate that movement just to get a good stretch in your low back. And 1 more. When you're done, you're just gonna find a neutral spine. Now we're gonna do an opposite arm reach to warm up our core a little bit. So you're gonna extend that left arm and that right leg at the same time. Take an inhale, straight arm, straight leg. We're at about shoulder, hip height here. Exhale, take it back to the center and then switch. Right arm and left leg. So without bobbling those hips around too much, exhale, come back. So just go at your own pace. You're just gonna hold it for about a breath. Inhale, reach, exhale, down. Your gaze is slightly in front of your hands here on the floor ahead of you. want you to imagine you're balancing that glass of water or cup of coffee on your back, and you cannot let it spill. So you want to keep that back nice and flat here. Tuck those hips under. You don't want any rounding in our low back. You want to keep it nice and straight. So just sort of tuck those hips under a little bit, get those lower abdominals turned on. You're going to do one more on each side. It's nice and easy here. Perfect. When you're done, you're going to come back to your tabletop position, and we're going to tuck our toes, come back to downward facing dog. We're going to go through a little flow here on the floor that we are probably all familiar with. Inhale, we're going to come forward to our plank. You're going to hold this plank here. I want you to lift those knees up, press through your heels, tuck those hips under, nice flat back. Even your neck. So again, you're looking straight ahead here. Continue to hold, keep breathing. One more breath. Squeeze those glutes. And then exhale, you're gonna lower the knees and you're gonna lower the chest. You're gonna come all the way down, chaturanga. So your hands should be right by your chest and not your shoulders. So I want them down towards your chest and your rib cage and your elbows in. You're gonna flatten those toes. Inhale, lift up. Baby Cobra, exhale, retuck the toes and come back up to down dog. Hold this right here. We're gonna flow through it 2 more times just to build a little more heat. Then again, you can always lower those knees for some support. Inhale forward to your plank. We're only gonna hold this for about 2 more breaths. Nice strong core, squeeze those glutes. And then exhale, knees and chest. Want to make sure your back stays flat there and we don't collapse as we lower. Flatten your toes, inhale, lift, baby cobra. Elbows in, shoulders down, exhale. Retuck your toes, up and back. Down dog or child's pose, hold that for 2 breaths and you're gonna do it 1 more time through. 1 more breath here. And last time, inhale forward to your plank. You're nice and strong here. Exhale, knees and chest. Leaning forward there slightly. Inhale, lift. Remember your hands should be below your shoulders, close to your rib cage. Elbows in, and then exhale. Let's retuck the toes, down and back. Down dog or child's pose. Hang out there for a couple breaths. Should be feeling a little bit warmer. We're not going to stand up just quite yet. I have a couple things I still want us to do on the floor here. So 1 more breath and you're down dog or child's pose. And then let's slowly come out of that position. You're going to face the front and we're going to do a kneeling pose or exercise. I call it iron cross. So if you'd like, you can fold your mats here, because we're going to be in this kneeling position on our knees. So I always fold my mat, give my knees a little extra support here. If you have blocks, these will really come in handy for this exercise. If you don't worry about it, or you can grab a couple towels or blankets and fold them. Okay, so arms out, we're kneeling. Once you think of stitching that rib cage together, just a little tuck of those hips to get those lower abdominals on. Arms are up, but shoulders are down and back. So start with the side bend. So we'll start with that left arm. Inhale, take it down. Exhale, you're gonna reach that right arm over, gentle side bend. The hand is either coming all the way to the floor or up onto a block. So I feel the stretch just right here. So I'm gonna stay right there. You feel free to go a little bit lower or work with your range of motion. We're gonna come right back up. Inhale, we'll do this a couple times. And exhale. So you're gonna feel a big stretch right here through that side body. Let's do it 2 more times. Come back up. Shoulders on those hips. Inhale and exhale. I want you to squeeze your glutes and keep your hips forward. 1 more time. Inhale and exhale. So if you want a little bit more, feel free to stay here. If you want a little more, we're gonna extend this right leg out. Sort of like a side plank, okay? Feel free to adjust that block. You can hold this right here. Again, if that was too much, you're just gonna hold that arm. Okay, now we're gonna go from that iron cross to extending our leg out. So we're gonna strengthen those hips here. I want you to bend that leg, bring it back down. Inhale, come back to the top, and then exhale. We're gonna reach the arm and extend the leg. And we're gonna do that again. So you're gonna try and make it in one nice flowing motion. Inhale and exhale. We're gonna try it just one more time, and then we'll hold on to that. Inhale, remember, nice strong core. Exhale, reach and extend at the same time. And let's hold this right here. I want you to push those hips forward. Inhale, I want you to rotate down, look at the floor. And then exhale, I want you to stack your shoulder on top of your hips here. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, look down, rotate. Exhale, twist and lift. Take your gaze at your elbow. Keep those hips forward. We're gonna hold this for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly bring that right leg back. Use your core to pull yourself back up slowly. Inhale, and then exhale, you can just gently sit back here and maybe take a couple shoulder rolls or little twists. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, because today we're gonna practice standing side angle. So I want us to practice opening up through that side body, and that's gonna help us when we stand up to do that pose, okay? Same thing on the other side. So get set up with your blocks, your pillow. Make sure you have support for your knees, okay? Arms up, shoulders down and back, right? Chest lifted, core nice and strong, just starting with those arms. Inhale and exhale. So our hips still stay centered, and we're just finding space right here in that side body. Inhale and exhale. We're gonna do it 2 more times. Keep that core nice and strong. Inhale and exhale. Last one, we're gonna hang out there for a couple of breaths. So here, feel free to bring that hand all the way down to the floor. I'm gonna reach a block here. Hold this here on your exhale. So reaching for the floor, reaching for a block. Go ahead and tuck those hips under just a little bit. We want those abdominals working. One more breath, a big stretch in that side body. And then slowly come back up to the top. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that again. This time we're gonna add the leg and extend our left leg, and you can adjust your position a little bit. So you want that leg nice and straight. Our hips, you might want to sit back. You're going to squeeze your glutes and keep them forward. And now we're going to flow in and out of that a couple times. So inhale, back up, and exhale. And so you might feel that you have a lot of your weight in that opposite arm. Inhale. Try just to use that block for just a little bit of balance. We don't want to put all of our weight on it just yet. Let's try this one more time. Try to make it flow in one piece here. Extend. And then you're going to hold this right here. Couple of breaths. We're going to then rotate that shoulder down. Take a look at the floor. And then exhale, you're going to open it back up. One more time. Almost like a triangle pose as well, which we'll do. Inhale. And exhale. Shoulder on your wrist, look up at your elbow. You're opening those hips, squeezing the glutes, keeping them forward. Good practice for standing half moon as well. One more breath here, you got this. Think of lifting away from the floor rather than putting all your weight in that block. Lifting up, and then inhale, come back up. And then exhale, lower the arms, go ahead and sit back slowly. Maybe a couple shoulder rolls here, gentle twists, maybe even a child's pose for your low back. How is everyone doing so far? We're good, thumbs up. Okay, so now we're gonna go through our standing flow. You're gonna see some of those twists and side openers as we go through it. So hopefully you're feeling like you can open once we get up there. So let's go ahead and adjust our mat back to that unfolding it. Blocks always just close by, okay? We'll take one more child's pose here before we begin. So go ahead and sit on back. Take note of this one, compare it to the first one that we did in class. Maybe notice that you're a little bit deeper, a little bit closer to the floor. Take one more deep breath in your child's pose. And then gently inhale, walk those hands up. Exhale, hips off the floor. Let's get ready to come into down dog. Here we go. On your next breath, you're gonna bend your knees. And then as you exhale, you're gonna walk cobra jump. Forward fold. Let it go here, head is heavy, your knees are bent. Next inhale, our arms reach all the way up to the top. We're nice and tall here. Bring your palms together and exhale. We're gonna lower. So we're gonna go right into this, doing a bunch of different standing poses. You can go at my pace or slow it down if you'd like. Or even speed it up if you're feeling good. Inhale and exhale. Let's take it down. Inhale, we're gonna lift up halfway for a flat back. Hands to your knees or your shins. And instead of rounding your back, you're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades together. You want a nice flat back. So you can balance your water or coffee there. And then exhale, let's lower down. Right foot steps back to warrior one. Glue that heel in, lift the chest. Arms up, inhale, and exhale, hold. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight. So we get a nice stretch for that back of the leg here. We're gonna hold this for a couple breaths. From here, we go right into triangle. So one more breath in this warrior one. Inhale, you're gonna straighten that front leg, and exhale, you're gonna lower those arms, sort of open up towards that side. Inhale, reach towards your front foot. And as you exhale, you're gonna take that front hand to your knee, back hand to your hip. So just like we did in our iron cross on the floor, I want you to inhale and rotate, look down at the floor, and then exhale, come into your twist. Triangle pose, your shoulder is on top of your hips. If you can extend that arm, go ahead and extend it. Not quite there yet, so I'm gonna hang out here for a couple breaths. Remember that you're twisting your torso. Imagine you're falling into a wall. Really want to open up through that side body. We're going to take 2 more breaths in triangle. And of course, those legs stay nice and straight like a triangle. Inhale, you're going to push into that back foot. Exhale, come back up. Let's bring our back foot to our front and come into a chair pose. Hands start in prayer at your chest. So sit down as low as you can. Look down at your toes. You should be able to see them, and you should be able to wiggle your toes. Perfect. If you want a little harder version, you can reach those arms up into that full chair. You just want to make sure that back stays flat. I'm going to stay right here. One more breath. Inhale, we're going to lift up, and we're going to lift that right leg off the floor. Exhale, you're going to step back into a nice high lunge. Big step back. Arms up, inhale, exhale, hold. So a nice big lunge here. Biggest step back, hips are forward. We're gonna hold this for one more breath. And then inhale, let's take those hands down. Exhale, step back to down dog. So we're just gonna start with those 3 poses. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side and then add on. Before we do so, inhale, come forward to your plank. Exhale, knees and chest. So you have the option to go through this flow each time. Inhale, lift baby cobra. Exhale, down dog or child's pose. 2 breaths. If you don't want to go through that flow, you'll just meet us in a child's pose. We'll hit the other side. So next, inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, walk, hop, or jump. Forward fold. Inhale, reach those arms up to standing. Palms come together. Exhale, lower. Other side, here we go. Reach it up. and let it go. Folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Think of pushing your heels into the floor so you get that stretch for the back of the legs. And then exhale, release it. Step back, left leg, warrior one. That's a medium step back. Lift the chest, arms up, inhale, exhale, hold. Your foot is about 45-degree angle here, and you want to feel a big stretch in that calf and back of the leg. Hips are facing forward in your warrior one. Stitch that rib cage together. One more breath here. And then inhale, straighten your front leg. Exhale, open up those arms. Triangle pose. Reach towards your toes. Inhale. Exhale, hands come down here to set up for triangle. We're going to rotate our shoulder towards the floor. And then on our exhale, we're going to lift it up. Make sure that shoulder is right on top of your hip. Then once it's there, you can extend your arm. So on this side, I'm obviously a little bit more flexible, and I can extend that arm up. And that's okay. One side is normally tighter than the other. If that arm is fully extended, your wrist should be on top of your shoulder, and your gaze is at your hand. Imagine me pulling that wrist back or pulling your shoulder back to open up. Look up at the ceiling. One more breath. Push into that back foot. Inhale, using those obliques, those core muscles. Exhale, step to your chair. Get nice and low. Now I'm going to keep my hands here, just my shoulder is bothering me a little bit. But of course, you can extend those arms up if you'd like. Back is flat here, so we're not rounding those shoulders, right? Hips are down, chest is up. Feel those legs get nice and warm. Get ready for your high lunge. Inhale, lift up. Add a little balance here right away. Left leg lifts, and then big step back. Exhale, high lunge. We hold for just a couple breaths. Back leg is nice and straight. Hips are down. One more breath here. Inhale, hands come down. Exhale, step it back. So you can go through your flow or find your child's pose. I'll let you go at your own pace here. And then it's 2 breaths in your child's pose. And we're just gonna add right along. We're gonna add a couple more poses here. So 1 more breath in your down dog or child's pose. And on your next one, bend the knees. Exhale, walk, hop, or jump, forward fold. Hopefully getting a little bit closer to touching the floor if we're not there already. Inhale brings us to standing. Palms come together, exhale. Now we're feeling that heat, let's add on. Inhale up, exhale, float it down. Let it go. Halfway lift, flat back, and exhale. Step that right foot back, warrior one. Arms reach up, inhale, and exhale. Again, you can always dial this back, maybe a little slower, maybe a little faster, up to you. Straighten that leg, we're gonna go a tiny bit faster. Inhale, lower those arms, get ready for triangle pose. Reach forward, exhale, we're gonna flow right into it this time. Flow right into that. So either extend that arm up or extend your elbow up. So if you're here, I don't want to see your arm up yet, right? Just keep that hand at your hip and still continue to encourage that shoulder to open. Hold it for a couple more breaths. We'll get there. You can even use that wall. Oh yeah, big stretch. Okay, hold that 1 more breath. Big stretch in that side body. Push in that back foot. Inhale, exhale, step to your chair. Get a little bit lower here. Maybe arms up or hands at prayer. Hold this chair. You should be able to wiggle those toes. Nice and low. 1 more breath. Inhale. As you lift, take that right leg off the floor. Bring that into your chest and step back for high lunge. Exhale. So we're adding on 2 positions here. Hold that lunge. From here, we're going to go right into warrior 2. So inhale, you're going to lift up a little bit higher. Open that right hip. Turn that right heel back and down. And then exhale, lower those arms. Imagine you're being pulled in both directions here at the same time. Inhale, straighten that leg, arms come up. Exhale. Let's just do that 1 more time. You're going to find your lowest point. Inhale, exhale, hold. Okay, so remember that iron cross we did on the floor. We're gonna mimic a very similar position here, okay? So what you're gonna do is take that hip, you're gonna do a little side crunch here. That front arm, we're gonna bend that elbow and let it just very gently relax on that front leg. This back arm, we're gonna sweep across the floor like we're cleaning it up. And then just like we did on the floor, you're gonna open up your chest and shoulders. So you're gonna hold this here. This is our extended side angle. So it might feel like it's easy to put a lot of weight in that front leg. I want you to lift away. Lift away from that front leg. You're just barely placing that arm there. So push into your back leg. Now, if you want a little more, you can slide that hand down, maybe to reach the floor. Then we can take that arm around, reach for a guide, and reach for that opposite hip. Now, if that's too much, you can just stay right up here. We're gonna hold it for one more breath. Big reach, inhale, push into that back leg, and then exhale, let's cartwheel those hands down. Back heel off the floor. Let's go ahead and step it on back. Let's hit a three-legged dog. Three-legged dog. Hips facing the floor. You're lifting that left leg as high as you can. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knee. Bring it into your chest. Holding a plank. Inhale, kick it back up. And exhale, bring it across the body to your right elbow. One more time. Inhale, kick it up. And exhale, bring it to your left elbow. Hips are down, hold that plank. And then inhale, back up. Exhale, lower that foot, down dog. And then you can go through your flow or find child's pose. Your choice. Now I am sweating a little bit. So child's pose or down dog, 2 breaths. Same thing on the other side. Good job, everybody. All right, we're gonna bend those knees. Inhale, walk, hop, or jump. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale takes us up to standing. Our palms come together as we lower down. Okay, other side, adding on those extra poses. Inhale up and exhale, float it down. Nice and low. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. You wanna push your heels into the floor and pull your shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower, step back, warrior 1. Reach those arms up and hold. So big stretch in the back of those legs. Front knee is bent, chest is up. Get ready for triangle pose. Inhale, straighten that leg. Exhale, lower the arms. We're gonna flow right into it. Reach towards your front foot. Hips go in the opposite direction. And then exhale. Open and twist. So there's a big rotation coming from your waist. Your shoulders are right on top of your hips. Hold that there and let me see it. If your arm is extended, you're looking up at that hand. Beautiful. Perfect. Good job, everybody. Beautiful. Take one more breath where you're at. You're gonna push into that back foot. Inhale, slowly pull yourself up. Exhale, step forward to your top of your mat. Find your chair pose. Perfect. Maybe arms extended, maybe staying right here. Hips are down, back is flat. Knees together. You should be able to wiggle those toes. Beautiful. One more breath, your lowest chair. Get to the point where you're a little bit uncomfortable. You want to stand up. Let's go ahead and stand up. Bring that knee to your chest. Little balance, inhale, big step. Exhale, high lunge. Reach it up. So here, get ready for that warrior 2 position. So inhale, lift a little higher. You're gonna open your left hip and press your left heel into the floor. Exhale, you lower the arms. So imagine being pulled in both directions, but at the same time. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight. Inhale, straighten your front leg. Reach those arms up. Exhale. Let's do it one more time. Find your lowest point. Inhale. And exhale, hold. Perfect. So shoulders right on top of our hips. But then for our next pose, we are going to be at an angle. You're making a long diagonal line angle with your body. So inhale. Go ahead and bring that rib cage to your hip. That front arm is just gently resting on your thigh. Sweep that back arm down. Inhale. Drop your hips, lift your chest. Extended side angle. Hips for here. I want you to drop your hips and lift your chest. Yeah. So barely any weight in this front leg. Ooh, that makes it harder, I know. Really press into your back leg. Just like we did earlier. If you have a little more, feel free to slide that arm down. Just make sure you're dropping your hips with it. Maybe you take that arm around, reach for your opposite hip for a bind. Maybe you stay right up here with me. Extended side angle. If you're feeling all the way in your front leg, I want you to lift up a little higher. Push into your back leg. And then inhale, take those arms up. Beautiful. Exhale. We'll practice that one. Come on down to down dog, three-legged dog. Inhale, kick it straight up. Now you can lower to your knee here for some extra support. Exhale, bring your knee to your chest. So I'm just going to show with the knee on the floor. And then inhale, come back up. Kick it straight up. Exhale, bring it across the body to your left elbow. And your plank right here. Back is flat. And then you lift it all the way back up. Inhale. Exhale, bring it to that right elbow. Hold this plank. Supported or on your toes. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Kick it to the ceiling. Exhale, lower that foot down. You're in down dog. So you can go through your flow here or find child's pose. Maybe take a couple breaths in that child's pose or down dog. Maybe you add an extra push-up. Your workout, totally up to you. So 2 more breaths in your down dog or child's pose. Ooh, I'm getting hot. Next breath, bend the knees, inhale. Exhale, walk up or jump, forward fold. And then inhale, reach those arms up. Palms come together. And exhale. All right, everyone, we are gonna practice our final warrior 3 pose. And we're just gonna practice that. We're not gonna go through our sequence. So we'll start in our lunge, and we're gonna practice balancing on one leg, because we've been doing that for so long, and I want us to get a good practice. All right, so if you have that wall, get close to it, or maybe a bench. We don't wanna be reaching for the floor though, when we're doing this. So bench, or a dresser, or a wall. All right, here we go. Inhale, while we still are nice and warm. Exhale, float it down. Inhale, halfway lift. We're gonna move a tiny bit faster. Exhale. So we're just gonna go right into our lunge. So biggest step back with that right leg, inhale. Exhale, hold. You're gonna bring your palms together, lower at your chest. You can watch my screen first if you'd like. If you haven't done this in a while, you're gonna lean forward, and then you're gonna lift away from the floor. So we're not sinking into the floor, we lift up and away for our balance. So go ahead and find that balance. The height of your back leg doesn't matter. I want it to be nice and straight though. Nice and straight. Back is straight too. That's why our hands are in prayer. I don't want any of the collapsing of the shoulders. If you fall out of it, get back into it. We're gonna practice here for a couple breaths. Maybe you wanna practice that half moon. If you do that, straighten your leg, you can point your toe, open your hips just like we did on the floor, and then extend that top arm. But that's a lot harder. So 2 more breaths. If you're in that warrior 3, hip bones facing the floor, 1 more breath. And then hardest part here, you're gonna step right back to that lunge. Big step back, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Woo! Down dog. Stay right here. Bend the knees. Inhale. Exhale, walk up or jump, forward fold. Inhale, reach those arms up. We're gonna go right into the other side. Exhale, float it down. Let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. This is how you should look in your warrior 3. Nice flat back. And then exhale. Big step back with your left leg. All the way back, high lunge, inhale. Exhale, hold. Palms together, bring them down to your chest. You're gonna push out that back leg, lean forward, and lift up and away. Shoulders down, away from those ears. Imagine you're holding a plank, so you sort of want to tuck those hips under a little bit. Keep your hip bones facing the floor. This is your last piece of work for class, and then we're just gonna end with some stretching. Back leg straight. Keep breathing. If you want that half moon, you stack your hips. Bottom arm down, top arm up. Up to you. Let's try a couple more breaths. 2 more. I just want to check it out. Squeeze that glute, lift it up. Yeah, nice, Stephen, good. Nice, Laura. 1 more breath, everybody. Bill, look, I love it. Using the wall. All right, Teresa, you got it. Big step back to that lunge. You all look great. Exhale, take those hands down. Down dog. Awesome job. So you have 1 more opportunity if you'd like to take it to go through this flow on the floor. If not, you're going to meet me in child's pose. Woo, couple of deep breaths. Maybe you add an extra chaturanga there. Tricep push up. Everyone meets in down dog when they are finished. Take your time. Great job, everybody. The good news is that the last 9-10 minutes is just going to be some good old stretching. Inhale, slowly walk those hands up. And then exhale, take a breath. Woo, how are we doing? We're good? So I'd like to get us nice and warm so that we can really get into our stretches. We don't want to stretch when we're cold, right? Muscles are nice and warm. So we're first going to start with pigeon pose. And you're going to start in down dog. So an alternative for pigeon, let's start with our left leg. If this doesn't feel good on your knee joint, you can do a pretzel stretch. That's where you're on your back. And you bring your ankle across your knee. So we're still stretching out the same muscle, it's just a different way. So up to you. I'm gonna hit my pretzel. We're doing the left leg first, or pigeon, excuse me. If you're in pigeon, feel free to lower down into your elbows. Maybe even using blocks. If you are in pretzel, feel free to pull those legs a little bit closer into your chest. Just keep your back flat. Feel that stretch in those hips and glutes, wherever you're at. If you're in pretzel, you're just gonna slowly switch and do the opposite ankle. If you're in pigeon, you're gonna lift up slowly onto your hands. We're gonna step back to down dog, so tuck that back toe. Use your core and upper body to lift back up to down dog. Inhale and exhale, bring that right leg forward. In pigeon, lift the chest on the inhale. Exhale, feel free to lower. In pretzel, feel free to pull your legs into your chest. And everyone take a couple breaths here. Just trying to find a little more space in our hips here. All right, if you are in pretzel, you're just gonna release those legs, shake them out, and then hug your knees into your chest. If you're in pigeon, we're gonna meet our pretzel friends on the floor, on our back. So gently press up, press back to down dog, and then lower the knees to the floor, and then gently roll over onto your back. We're all gonna meet on our back, giving ourselves a hug. Knees into chest, rocking side to side. Maybe massaging your back here a little bit. Relax the head. You're gonna circle your ankles while you're here, wiggle your toes. Make circles with your legs in one direction to massage the back. And then just make sure to switch directions here. All right, let's lower our feet onto the floor about hip distance. You're gonna reach those arms overhead, almost like you're making a circle with your arms overhead. And you're just gonna windshield wiper your legs gently by sort of just letting them fall from side to side. Okay, you're gonna grab your block. If you don't have a block, grab a blanket or a towel and roll it up. So I want everyone to have some sort of block or towel. We're gonna go ahead and grab that. Keep it really close by. We're gonna start with a couple bridges. So feet are hip distance and your arms are just down by your side. You're gonna peel your spine off the mat. Slowly lift it up. You don't need to lift too high, just until you feel that stretch in those hip flexors. Inhale, you're gonna gently lower, and exhale, come back up. So your shoulder blades, the back of your shoulder blades should always stay connected to the mat when you're doing that bridge. Inhale, lower, and exhale, up. So if they're not, it just means you're maybe lifting a little too high, that's all. Keep those shoulder blades connected. We're gonna do it one more time. Inhale and exhale. So we're gonna hold this bridge here just for a couple breaths. If you want a little extra, you can interlace those fingers and those hands underneath your hips. Maybe roll those arms under, just an option, a little more challenging, a little more stretch. Keep those hips lifted. Feel free to close your eyes here. 2 more breaths wherever you are at. And then very slowly, move those arms away and gently lower those hips all the way back down to the floor. Once you come down, you're gonna bring your knees back into your chest for a quick stretch. Lower the feet onto the floor. Okay, we're gonna lift back up. We're gonna place that block or that pillow or blanket under our hips. So lift up slowly. This is a supported bridge. Slide it right underneath. And just hang out here for a couple breaths. So this is nice because we're supported. We don't have to strain any muscles to stay lifted or stretch out those hip flexors. So while you're on your block or your pillow or your blanket, let's go and lift our feet off the floor. So you're gonna have all your weight on that block or blanket or pillow, and I want you to extend your legs straight up and back down just a couple times here. Sort of like legs up the wall pose. Just giving our feet a little bit of a break. Keeping our hips and our feet higher than our heart here, a little inversion. So just bend and extend, maybe one at a time. And then extend both legs straight up. I want you to bring your toes to your nose and really press those heels and ankles all the way up, straighten your legs. Feel that hamstring stretch. And then you can reach behind your thighs or behind your calves, wherever you can reach. Just gently pull those legs into your chest a little bit, just a little bit. Keep them nice and straight. Relax your shoulders here. Just think of pressing those feet up to the ceiling, making a footprint. And then slowly you can relax. You're gonna hug your knees into your chest here, and we're gonna hug our left knee into our chest and lower our right foot to the floor. Keep your back rather flat here. We don't want too much of an arch. So right foot's on the floor. If you don't feel the stretch, this is easy, then you're gonna go ahead and straighten out your right leg. Try to bring your heel to touch the floor. If it doesn't, just hang out here for a couple moments. Let gravity start to do its thing. Be mindful of your back. So tuck those hips under, keep your back flat here, but just sort of relax that right leg and allow gravity to bring it down to the floor. Keep that left knee in. And then very slowly, you're going to lift that right knee up, bring it into your chest. Let's try the other side. Same thing. Keep that right knee in the whole time. Lower your left foot. So you can just keep it right there, foot on the floor, knee bent. If you don't feel that stretch, you're gonna straighten your leg, and that should intensify the stretch a little bit. Maybe the heel doesn't touch the floor. Take a couple breaths. Keep your knee into your chest. You want your back flat here. All right, very slowly bend that knee. Bring both into your chest and then both back down onto the floor. We're gonna come out of this supported bridge. So you're gonna lift those hips up, move that block or blanket away, and then go ahead and find your Shavasana pose, maybe one more final stretch. And then just find any relaxation pose for just a moment here. Close your eyes. Whatever is comfortable. It could be any position you would like. And then very slowly, you're gonna move your head from side to side. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then gently bring your knees back into your chest. You're gonna give yourself one last hug. Tell yourself something nice. And then just gently roll over to your side when you're ready. Press up to any comfortable seated position that you'd like. Maybe a couple shoulder rolls once we're there. Gentle twist over each shoulder. And then on our last inhale, we're gonna reach those arms up. Bring your palms together as we exhale, lower them down to heart center. Close your eyes for just a moment and thank yourself for making the time this morning to come to class. Hopefully feel much better than when you started. And then we'll open our eyes. We'll say namaste to one another. The light in me honors and sees the light in you all. Thank you so much for coming. Happy Friday. I think there were a couple new faces here, so I did mention, but make sure to drop your site name in the chat box so I can get attendance. Happy Friday. I won't be here next week, but it's going to be the same link. The amazing Lauren is going to sub for you all. So no change in link or time. I'll see you all next time. Great job.
Right.
How are we feeling?
Yeah, it's great. Oh.